single slide. So this is a good research. Now next, what comes is next is conceptual versus empirical research. Friends, a research can be a conceptual or empirical. And you know that most of us starts our research as conceptual researcher. What is conceptual research? It requires an idea or concept. It does not involve any statistical tools or experimentation. Just getting an idea from here and there and working on that idea. But those ideas, those facts cannot be experimented. While on the other hand, what an empirical research do? On the other hand, empirical research is a study which is based on collection of primary or secondary data and application of suitable statistical tests to testify your hypothesis. Understand? So, what is an empirical research? An empirical research is a research where inferences of the study, conclusion of the study is strictly drawn from experiential or observed evidences, and therefore these evidences are verifiable. We can verify this through different tests. For example, this is COVID situation going on. So some of a company or a pharma company has developed a drug. Now, whether the drug A, let's call it drug A, whether the drug A can control or cure COVID-19 on a group of 100 patients under observation. So what we have? We have an experimentation over 100 patients whether our drug is a cure for illness. Got my point? So this is what? This is an empirical research. Going further, what is empirical research process? Actually, there is nothing special about empirical research process. Research process is same always. But empirical research include few crucial things, few important things in it. You know that every research starts with the research idea. The research idea first. Then there is a review of literature. If you have an idea, then getting more knowledge about that idea, what we do? We do literature review, sorry. We do literature review. Then after proper literature review, what we do? We formulate the research problem. And after that, we prepare research design, or we can say it methodology. After jot down your or designing your methodology, research methodology, what we do next is preparation of questionnaire or data collection. After data collection, what we do is data analysis. After data analysis, what will be done? Interpretation of the result, and then the conclusion. This conclusion is what? This conclusion is about our research idea or research question. Did you get my point? So this is an empirical research process. This whole is empirical research process. Are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. In between, I will be asking. Don't worry. So what next? So we have got an idea, because we have very less time, very less time we have. So a topic I have jotted down, a topic I have selected here. So working on an empirical paper, this is the topic: affliction in the employees of IT sector and well-being. Affliction means their stress, their stress related problem, like that. So affliction in IT employees and their well-being. So this is the topic. This is a research idea we have. For this idea, what we need to have? We need to have a literature review, enough literature review. First of all, what exactly work has been done by different researchers in this particular field. So we have to study that. Why this study is necessary? Because this study will provide us the research gap. Is there any research gap? That whether the study already done has some impact in present situation, or the study is so old that it should be needed a new experimentation. So this review of literature will give us an insight about the research gap. So try to find out research gaps through this literature review. After that, research design or methodology or objective setting. When we set objective for our study, the objective may be few or more. That depends upon your own discretion. It may be one only. It may be 2, 3, 5 only. It may be 10, 15 only. That can be done. That depends upon your own discretion. But while you are setting your objective, you must be very clear about this another thing, IV and DV. What is that? IV and DV? That is
independent variable, independent.
Yes. This is independent variable and dependent variable. In our objectives, we should try to find out our independent variable and dependent variable. Unless we find these two, we cannot prepare or we cannot state hypothesis. Hypothesis cannot be made unless we do this previous thing. This one is necessary, knowing your IV and DV. If you know your IV DV, then hypothesis statement you have to make. After your hypothesis, you have to frame a questionnaire. A questionnaire should be focused on your objectives and on the details you have put there in hypothesis. Okay, so after framing your questionnaire, there will be a question like how many questions should be there in a questionnaire. Your questionnaire may be having 5, 7 questions also, it is also enough. Or if you want your questionnaire to be like 100 question, maybe the smaller one, वो भी कम पड़ जाएंगे आपको. So that depends upon your own choice. तो ये questionnaire कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए, what will be the size of the questionnaire, that depends exactly on you. There is nothing like a questionnaire इतना ही बड़ा होना चाहिए. And after you have prepared your questionnaire, what next comes is the circulation of the questionnaire to the targeted respondents, targeted population. So this will be a way to work on your empirical paper. And after getting things ready with the questionnaire, when you circulate the questionnaire, you got your responses, the next application of test, then finding their inferences, these things will come. But what we focus generally, what people do, people majorly focus on their tests. But this preparation is necessary actually. If you prepare yourself very well on these points, I am very much sure that your paper will be a very beautiful thing. You can surely contribute a good research to the world, to the society, to yourself. Do you get my point? Now next, IV and DV, because this is very important thing. So with our topic, this topic we have, affliction or stress in employees of IT sector and their well-being, we have few IVs and DV. But before going for IV and DV, what is that? A variable is a thing which varies. Varies is a variable. The change is a variable. So an independent variable is a variable that is manipulated by a researcher. The word manipulated should not be taken into negative sense here. Manipulated means changed every time to get desired results. It is not manipulated, it should not be taken into negative sense here. Not my words. Okay. So when you manipulate your variable, when you change your variable, when you increase or decrease its level, then only you can get what is its effect on the another variable. That another variable is what? That another variable is a measured variable, or we can say it as a dependent variable. So dependent variable depends on independent variable. We change independent variable to know its effect on dependent variable. There should be a cause and effect relationship. Your IV independent variable is a causal variable, and that causal variable how affects on your DV, that is impact, what impact it has, or what is the measure of that effect of that, will tell it as a dependent variable. So in our study, let's say gender of IT employees is independent variable and occupational stress is a dependent variable. We change gender, male, female, and try to know whether occupational stress differs as to gender. Whether occupational stress differs as to gender. So we manipulate what? We manipulate gender and wanted to find out its impact on occupational stress. Second, age of IT employee. Whether a young IT employee has the same level of occupational stress as an employee of 60 or 50 plus age. So we have to set different criteria or categories. We can say it categories of age. Let's say 20 to 30, 30 to 40, like that, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and 60 and above. So what we manipulate? We manipulate age, and through that manipulation of age, IV, what we wanted to know? We wanted to know the state of occupational stress. Next, workload effects on level of stress. If we increase workload, timing of the work, let's say 30 hours in a week, or 30 to 40 hours in a week, or 40 to 50 hours in a week, or more than 50 hours in a week, or increasing the task complexity in the job, whether it increases the level of stress. This is again, IV is what? Workload, independent variable. Dependent is level of stress. Next, stress management activities. We know we do lot of activities to manage our stress. We have our hobbies. We used to walk, or used to do exercises or something like that, meditation, yoga, like that. So whether these activities, different activities, have a different level of control on stress. This is again a thing. So our IV is stress management activities, and your DV is control on stressful condition. I think this is quite clear to all of you till now. Is it? Is it done?
Yes,
In
sir.
chat box,
Yes, sir.
in chat box you can write. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now next, if we know our IV and DV, if we know what is our IV, what is our DV, then next thing comes is starting or writing your hypothesis. Now, many people say there should be 10 hypotheses, 15 hypotheses, at least 10 will be there, 15 will be there. I say no. It again depends on you. You can set only one hypothesis for one paper. You can set like 5 hypotheses only for your whole research, whole PhD research. Only 5 hypotheses. It is quite okay. It is quite okay. So it is nothing like that you should have a big number of hypotheses with you. Actually, your hypothesis should depend on your objective of the study. That is must. That is necessary. Did you get my point? Now next, we have said here 2 hypotheses. Hypothesis and hypothesis. This is a plural word. This is plural form. Singular form, this is hypothesis. This is singular form. This is plural form. So we have two hypotheses. First null hypothesis. See, again, it is a question. Every time we have to go with null hypothesis, or we should have to enter an alternate hypothesis with that. There should be an alternate hypothesis with a null hypothesis. Again, a question comes many times. It again depends on you. If you want to write alternate hypothesis, you can write. But null hypothesis should be there. If you don't write alternate hypothesis, don't worry. But there should be a null hypothesis. So our null hypothesis says, first null hypothesis says, there is no interaction effect between gender of IT employees and the occupational stress. See, this depends on our IV and DV. What our first IV and DV? Our first IVDV was, gender of IT employees and occupational stress. And on this IV and DV, we have our first hypothesis. What we wanted to know from first hypothesis, whether occupational stress level is different in different genders. This we want from first hypothesis. So this hypothesis will be testified on tests. We'll apply tests here. And for your information, this first hypothesis we will do with MS Excel. Okay. What is our second hypothesis? There is no significant association between occupational workload and job related stress. Again, it is from our IV and DV only. There is no significant association between occupational workload and job related stress. Workload and job related stress. You can see it here. Okay. So this is why knowing your IV and DV is very, very important. That is very, very important. So for your information, this first hypothesis will do in MS Excel, and this second hypothesis will do in SPSS. Now going to the next slide. Yes. So my dear friends, as I told you, we have already our topic, we have already know our objectives, our methodology, our IV and DV we already know. So this questionnaire I have already prepared. This questionnaire was prepared in Google Forms. And this questionnaire was circulated to the targeted audience, targeted respondents. Okay, so that those responses are done and filled by the respondents and then sent back to me. Okay, so this questionnaire, what is there in the questionnaire? First of all, we have some questions. These are the questions. How many questions are there? On our basis of our objectives and hypothesis, we have 40 questions. Question number 1 to question number 40. These questions are classified into different segments. First, demography questions were there. Questions related to demography. Then basic job related questions. Knowing about their job, what they are doing there. Okay, respondents. Then stress inquiry questions. Some of the stress related, inquiry related questions are there. These are questions. I'll show you some questions there. Respondent satisfaction regarding job position and compensation. Respondents' work interference with personal life. Involvement of job stress in workplace. Status of excessive workload at job. Status of family, friends, and colleagues during work stress. Respondents' experience about workplace harassment. Like this, these questions are there. Then in the final segment, what we have? In the final segment, we have stress awareness questions and self-examination of stress. This stress awareness questions like Does respondent suffer from sleeping problem? Because if somebody is in stress, it affects first of all on its sleeping habits, sleeping pattern. Then eating pattern, eating habit also change. So these are the questions here. Then after that, few questions, self-examination of stress. This we have jotted down. So this questionnaire was circulated. So these was number of these were the questions. These were the classification of question. But one more important thing is that is in column C. This is measure of the scale. Later in our presentation, we'll see that what is measure of scale, but that should be there. Otherwise, your questionnaire will of no use. Measure of scale should be there. So this questionnaire was filled by the respondents, and after a few days, I downloaded this number of respondents were 308. Total 308 responses I got. So this response says I downloaded in an Excel file, but you can see it here. This response says I have got are given in alphabets. And what is necessary? This alphabet thing we cannot directly put to test. So what we need is we need to convert. We need to convert this non-numeric thing into numeric order. This particular thing is known as coding. If we convert non-numeric data into numeric value, that is known as coding. So what we need to do is the coding of our questionnaire. We have to do. What is the way to do that? See, I'll show you with only one example. Let's say gender of respondent. We have male and female too. So what to do? Just go Control plus F, find and replace. Control plus F. Type here F female, FEMALE, female. Replace your choice, 1 or 2. Let's say 1, not 2, and all replace. Yes, you can see it here. All female are converted into number 2 or number 1, like that. Then male. To number 1. Your choice. This number is your choice. It's not done. So you can see the non-numeric data is now converted into numeric value. This non-numeric data is converted into numeric value. In this way, you have to code your whole questionnaire. You have to code your whole questionnaire. This whole questionnaire you have to code. Okay. And the questionnaire will appear like this. Did you get my point? Is it done? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So after doing your coding, notice my words. Listen very carefully. Normality test should be done, whether it is necessary or not. See, if you are going for a parametric test, you can write also. If you are going for a parametric test, your data should be normal. You have to check that whether the normality is there or not. In my previous lecture, I have gone through that. So if you want to do it again, I can repeat it. Shall I repeat it or we can go?
Yes, sir, please. Yes, sir, please.
Okay.
Please repeat.
Okay. Thank you. So again, notice my words. What is needed? If you are going for a parametric test, if you are going for application of parametric test, your data should be normal first. What is a normal type of thing? What is this normality known? Normality test is a test which satisfy you that your data has all the attributes of the population. If your data is having all the attributes of your population, it will appear in a graph like a bell, proper bell shaped will be there. Your data will be proper bell shaped data. And if your data is bell shaped, you can be very sure that your sample resembles with your population. Your sample has all the attributes, all the characteristics as your population has. Because taking every item of the population for the study is very, very impossible. It is a difficult task. So what we do a sample study. But it is necessary to know that whether your sample has all the attributes of the population. For that thing, what we do is a normality test. But going for normality test, we should avoid questions related to demography and qualitative type of thing. So in our questionnaire, if there are some questions which are of demography, these are question number C. This question number 1 to question number 9. These are the questions which are of qualitative nature. These questions are of qualitative nature or demographic questions. We should avoid these questions while we are going for normality test. Okay. Other type of data, that is your ordinal data or interval data, you can take. Ordinal data and interval data we can take. So in this questionnaire, I have taken question from question number 9 to question number 40. You can see it here. Question number 9 to question number 40. Now, if we are going for normality test and other statistical tests in our MS Excel, what we need to activate data analysis tool pick. We need to activate data analysis tool pick. How to activate that? Go to file. You can see it here. Go to file. Down the file there is a option. There is an options. Go to option. A new window will open. Here, go to add-ins. Click on that. You can see I have already activated analysis tool pack. This is already activated. Okay, but for you people, if you do not have activation, so go down here. You can see it here. Manage Excel add-ins. Manage Excel add-ins. Then click go. This analysis tool pack, you have to check this analysis tool pack. You have to check this and then OK. Then when you do this thing, your data analysis tool pack will be activated in data. This home, insert, page layout, formulas, data. Your data analysis tool pack will come here. This is data analysis tool pack. This will be activated. This method of activation of data analysis tool pack is for Windows 10. If you have older version, just follow YouTube video how to activate data analysis tool pack for Windows older versions. If you have Windows 10, I have showed you the method of activation of data analysis tool pack. If you have older versions, just go to Google YouTube videos and follow the instructions. Then your data analysis tool pack will be activated. Now, next thing, for normality of data, what we need to do, we need to sum. We need to have a sum of this data. How to do this? Just pick a row of the type this one. Just select the first row. Go here. I'll show you. The selection of first row. Go to home. Auto sum. Now your sum is down. Sum has come. 39. First row has 39. Then double click on this plus sign. You can see it here. Plus sign or drag. Anything. Drag or. So we have this one. This sum we have. Okay. After that, Control C this. Again, go to first row. Put your cursor on first row, this first row. Paste special. Click on paste special. Paste special. Then in paste special, values. Okay. Then go to sort. This sort, smallest to largest. Continue with current selection. Okay. Now, why I have done this? Because this column has already a formula, the formula of sum, and the values were there in haphazard form. That means smaller, bigger, this type of thing was going on. For getting a proper bell-shaped curve, what we need is, we need to have values from smallest to largest. Ascending order should be there. So I have done this by Control C, paste spatial values, and then arranging data in small to large or ascending order. After that, a formula we have to put here. So formula for averaging and standard deviation is already there. I can show you once again. For average equals to AV. You can see it here, average has come. Average of all this sum data. This is our average. After that, standard deviation equals to STD, standard deviation. Standard deviation for sample, we need sample, not population, sample. STDEV.S, sample. Which sample? These samples. This is our standard deviation. Now Z score. There is a formula for Z distribution. Formula for Z distribution equals to, its formula is NORM, normal distribution. Normal distribution. So what we need is here, X we need. This is our X. What we need is here is mean. What is our mean? Our mean is in column AA2. So AA2. AA2. What next is standard deviation, comma, standard deviation. Standard deviation is AB2. AB2. After that, comma. Now it will ask for true value or false value. What we need is false. False for probability mass function we need, not cumulative distribution function. What we need is probability mass function. We need probability mass function. So false. False. Bracket close. Enter. Actually, yes, my Excel sheet is not responding. Just a minute. Yes, our Z score has come for first value. But what we need is Z score for each data here. So there is a small correction. You can see it formula. You can see formula here. This formula. Okay. Are you all with me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir. Yes, Ravi, sir.
just before this mean value, this mean, that is AA. Before this AA, put a dollar sign. Put a dollar sign. That is there in your this keyboard. That is dollar sign is already there. Put dollar sign before and after this alphabets. AA. Then after this, before this also. Standard deviation thing also. Why dollar sign? Because we need a cumulation of this. We need a cumulation of this. Double click on this and we got the value for our data. We got the value for our data. This is Z distribution for our data. Now pick sum and Z distribution. Pick all the values of sum and Z distribution and go to insert. And this, you can see your data Z distribution bell-shaped curve is there. Got this? So your data, you can be very sure that you have like a perfect normal data you have. I think it is okay with all.
Yes, sir. But I have one question, sir.
Question shall we discuss later?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Because a lot of things we have to cover in our lecture. Okay. So I please tell you that if you can please keep your questions for the last. Okay. Now after this, again, I should tell you this normality thing is needed when you go for parametric test. Parametric test mean t-test, ANOVA, sometimes correlation and regression. Okay, so your data should be normal for this. Now we'll be going towards, since we know that our data is normal, we'll be sure that we can apply ANOVA two-factor here, ANOVA here. Okay, and what is our hypothesis? Now our hypothesis was, what was our first hypothesis? Let's say our first hypothesis was there is no interaction effect between gender of IT employees and occupational stress. No interaction effect of gender and occupational stress. So I have taken gender, then another question, stress in workplace and stress in job position. So this gender is question number 2 of my questionnaire. This question number 12 is stress in workplace. So from coding, I have taken this data. From coding, I have taken this data. Okay. So what we need is gender, then stress in workplace and stress in job position. Now go to data analysis. You can see it here, ANOVA single factor, then ANOVA two factor. Why ANOVA two factor will apply here? Because we wanted to apply this on stress in workplace and stress in job position. And we have two groups in gender, male and female. If there would be only one group, only one type of data will be there, so surely we'll go for single factor. But if you have two or more than two, you have to go for two factor. And here we'll be going with ANOVA two factor with replication. Why replication? Because we do not change the population group. Population group is same. We do not change the population group. If you want to compare IT employees and telecommunication employees, then we have to adopt this ANOVA two factor without replication. But here our population comes from one sector only, IT sector, and that is for that only we are applying here ANOVA two factor with replication. So we'll click OK. It will ask your data. Where is your data? Where is your input data? So input data is here. Gender, stress in workplace, and stress in job position selection. All data we have taken. Now, one more thing I wanted to tell you here. That is, I told you that I have gathered 308 samples, but for application of ANOVA two factor without replication, ANOVA two factor without replication, your sample data should be equal. That means equal number of data should be there in both the groups, male and female. So when I go to my questionnaire, I found that I have 88 female and more than that male. So what I did, I took 88 females and first 88 males. Okay, those data I have put here. Those
Excuse me, Ravi sir.
Yes.
PPT is not visible.
PPT, I'm not showing PPT. Still, I am showing this.
Okay.
My Excel sheet only. Is it visible? Excel sheet is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No,
Yes.
sir.
Excel sheet is not visible to you.
Someone shared
Hello?
his
No, sir.
screen.
It is not visible?
Sir, someone
visible,
shared
sir.
his
No, sir.
screen.
Visible.
Okay.
Visible, sir. Visible, sir.
Is it now visible?
No, sir.
Sir,
No, sir.
not
Visible
visible to me.
हम लोग को visible नहीं है, sir.
Visible, sir.
Please share the screen again.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
So to some it is visible, to some it is not visible.
Okay, okay, okay.
Now it is visible. Yes.
Now
1 minute.
now
It's
it is
coming.
1 minute. Is it visible now
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
yes, sir.
Yes,
to everyone?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So again, I want to tell you, please listen very carefully. If you are going for ANOVA two factor with replication, there is a limitation, not limitation, we can say, there is a particular thing we have to take care of, that the groups you are taking for study or test should be equal.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
किसी ने स्क्रीन प्रेजेंट की है तीन
सर
जन
कोई बार बार स्क्रीन शेयर कर दे रहा है अपना।
हाँ, तो ये सर आप यदि कोई स्क्रीन और कोई शेयर करेगा तो उसको बाहर कर
भूटिया,
देंगे सर, क्योंकि वो
ऐसे
प्रॉब्लम हो रही है बार बार सभी को। एक बार आप फिर से रन कर दीजिए सर, आपका एक बार फिर से रन
ठीक
कर
ठीक,
दीजिए।
मैं कर रहा हूँ सर, मैं कर रहा हूँ।
यस सर, यस सर।
Now it is okay.
यस सर, प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
So, my dear friends, if you are going for two-factor ANOVA with replication, you should have to take care of this thing. Please note my words. The data of the groups you are taking should be equal. As I told you that I have gathered 308 data. I have 308 samples. In those 308 samples, 88 were female and the remaining were the male. But for two factor, I have to take the equal number of samples in both the groups, male and female. So I took first 88 females, and from the male group, I have taken first 88 males. And that is, I have put up here rows per sample. If you have different numbers of samples with you, then my dear friends, you will not be able to apply this ANOVA two factor with replication. In MS Excel only, this is the limitation with MS Excel only, not for the other type of platforms, other softwares. Got my point? So number of samples per rows are 88. Alpha value is by default 0.05, and output range, we can select output range. I want my output where? I want my output to be somewhere here. I want my output here. So we have the input, range. Our input range is what? Our input range is this three variables. Rows per sample was 88, 88 male, 88 female. Alpha value by default 0.05, that is 95% confidence. And output range we have already selected. Now press OK. Now you have got your answers. Your test is here. This is your test result for ANOVA two factor with replication. Now this already I have done here. So we'll shift here. This is the data, the same data, you can see it here. The same data is here. Okay. So I can show you how this decimal value is two decimals. So you have to select this average, variance, all these things. Then go to home screen and you can see it here, increase decimal or decrease decimal. So decrease decimal. So I have done this thing, and this summary result is there. The summary result for your ANOVA is here. Okay. This is summary result for ANOVA. So this summary result comes for female, for males, and total of male female. And ANOVA table is here. Okay. So what does it says? What is stress per stress in workplace? What is sum for female respondent there? Their average, their variance. For male in stress in workplace, their average, their variance, and this ANOVA result. Now see, Our hypothesis was to find the interaction, whether there is an interaction between gender of IT employees and occupational stress. So the result says, what result says, you can see it here. Our p value, p is the significance value. P value is the significance value. Our significance value is 0.04, which is lower than 0.05. So what we say, hypothesis first, this was the hypothesis. There is no interaction effect in gender of IT employee and the occupational stress. See the interaction result. P is below 0.05. So we reject null hypothesis. Our null hypothesis is failed to be proved. Our null hypothesis is failed to be proved because our p value is below 0.05. If our p value is above 0.05, more than 0.05, then this hypothesis will be accepted. But our p value is below 0.05. That is the reason there is an interaction effect in gender and occupational stress. That means what we wanted to say it here, that different genders have different occupational stress. Male has a different level of occupational stress. Female have a different level of occupational stress, and this thing is, again, you can see it here in sample data. You can see it here, sample data. What is our p value here? P value is 0.58, and this p value is more than 0.05. If this would be below 0.05, that means there is no difference in male and female, but there is a difference in male and female. So our hypothesis, there is no interaction, is failed to be proved. It means there is the difference of stress in gender, but who has more stress or less stress, that we cannot say it here, because I told you that this Excel has some limitation. If you do this test in your SPSS platform, you can find their post hoc. There is a post hoc test, post hoc test. There are very post hoc. One Ferroni test, LSD test, SNK tests are there. You can choose your own type. So when you go there and do this post hoc test, that will tell you about which are the difference of variance, whether it's the difference of variance. But if you want to see it here, there is a difference of variance in, see it here. Our variance for work stress in workplace is 0.4 and 0.43. Workplace is 0.4 and stress in job position 0.43. For stress in workplace, for male is 0.20 and for female is 0.32 job position. So there is a difference we can observe here. There is a clear-cut difference. Okay, but this particular thing will be very precisely said, will be very precisely presented in post hoc test in SPSS. Did you get my point? So is my slide visible to everyone now? The slide is visible to everyone? Okay. So what we conclude here, taking our first hypothesis, what we conclude here, if 348, it is again 348 from where it comes, see it here. These are the 113 and 348 here. 348. And of what is our F test? 0.30. So 348 equals to 0.30. P is below 0.05. So P is equals to 0.00. You can see it here. 0.04. I think it was 0.04. Yes, 0.04. P is 0.04. So hence null hypothesis is failed to be accepted. We conclude that there is an interaction effect between gender of IT employee and occupational stress. I think it is quite clear to everyone. First hypothesis is failed to be
very clear.
failed to
Yes,
be
sir.
accepted. Now for our second hypothesis, as I told you that first hypothesis will do in our MS Excel and second hypothesis will do in SPSS. So I have already filled my data in SPSS. there is a workshop which will be taken by Chanchala ma'am in coming days, after 1 or sir Ajay sir, एक या 2 दिन बाद शुरू होगी वर्कशॉप ये वाली SPSS वाली?
सर एसपीएसएस वाली वर्कशॉप यूजीसी नेट की वर्कशॉप के बाद में स्टार्ट हो रही है। यूजीसी नेट की वर्कशॉप 13 तक चलेगी, 15 से चंचला जिन मैडम की स्टार्ट हो रही है, 15 से 23।
बिल्कुल। तो जो लोग भी whosoever wanted to know about this SPSS type of thing, how to feed data, how to get the results, all these things, Chanchala ma'am will take workshop from 15th, तो आप वहां पर सीख सकते हैं इसको और अच्छे से। जिन लोगों को आता है वो लोग वेरिएबल व्यू के अंदर फीडिंग वगैरह होती है, यू नो दैट वेरी वेल, और उसके बाद अपना डेटा हम यहाँ पर इंपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, सारी चीजें ला सकते हैं। मैंने ये सब कुछ करके रखा है, आई हैव ऑलरेडी डन दिस थिंग। नाउ इट इज टाइम टू टेक आवर रिजल्ट्स। सो आई हैव my results also. What was our second hypothesis? See, our second hypothesis was what? This is our second hypothesis. There is no significant association between occupational workload and job related stress. Job related stress and occupational workload. So what I have done, I can show you here. Go to analyze. When you have done your previous work, like you have your data, you have import your data like this, you have already import your data, you have done this variable view complete filled, ये सब आप कर चुके हैं। उसके बाद आपको आना कहां पर है? आपको एनालाइज पर आना है। यू हैव टू गो कम टू एनालाइज। इन एनालाइज गो टू डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स। आप इन डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स गो टू क्रॉस tabs. In cross tabs, go to cross tabs. It will show you rows and columns. What it will show you? Rows and columns. So I have jotted down 2 questions. First is question number 10. My question number 10 says status of excessive workload. Status of excessive workload. I will put this thing in column. And my another question, that is number 17. Respondents status of stress level on the scale of 10. I have asked the question, how, on what scale respondent will mark stress level? The scale was given 0 to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to 10, like that. So respondents stress situation on scale, I am putting this on row. So I have status of excessive workload. If respondent says yes, I am in stress and my stress level is this, so we'll be going to find out, is there any significant impact of stress with workload? So this will be doing with application of chi-square test. So you need not to check here. If we go to exact test, that is asymptomatic only. We have to click this asymptomatic only. Continue that. In statistics, go and click chi-square. Nothing else. Chi-square only. Chi-square. Continue. Then sales, by default it is observed by default. If you want to more in-depth analysis, then exclude expected and this type of thing and row and column percentage you can also take, but it is not necessary now. So continue. This format and bootstrapping, forget about this, it is not necessary. So only exact, asymptomatic, continue, statistics, chi-square, continue, sale, it is by default observed, continue. Then press OK. Your result will come like this. Your result will come like this. Now what this result says, this first is the case processing summary. It says about what was the number of data. Total 308 samples were there. Nothing was missing. So this is of no use actually. It is for your own satisfaction that whether you have taken all the data or some data is missing. Then second is a cross tabulation. Actually, chi-square test is a cross tabulation of rows and columns. So we have status of excessive workload, yes, no, sometime. Then count 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 7 to 10. So this is the table which says how many says they are in stress and what is their stress level. See, the people who say yes and with scale 7 to 10 are how many? Are 58. You can see it here, are 58. Who says yes, there is excessive workload and our scale of stress is 7 to 10. Did you get my point? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the cross tabulation. This table, when you present, you can describe this table. You can give details about this table in your paper. And our chi-square test is here. Our chi-square test is here. This is our chi-square test. This is our chi-square table. This Pearson chi-square value is 18.430. Degree of freedom is 4. And SIG value, that is a P value. P value is what? 0.01. Again, our P value is below 0.05. That means again, we conclude that our null hypothesis is failed to be accepted. Failed to be accepted. Now, let me tell you what this DF means. DF4, how it comes. See it here. What we have in our first variable, how many groups we have? First group yes, second group no, third group sometimes. So out of this 3, exclude 1. 3 minus 1. How much comes? How much comes? 2. Again go here in our second variable. 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 7 to 10. How many groups are there? 3. 3 minus 1. Again 2. So 2 from here, 2 from here. 2 into 2, L into C. Row into column, sorry. Row into column. Row into column. What is the result of DF? DF is 4. Did you get my point? This DF?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This 4 comes in this way. So, concluding our second hypothesis. Chi-square degree of freedom, excuse me. This degree of freedom is 4. It is 18.430. This is our result. 18.430. This is our result. So, chi-square degree of freedom 4 equals to 18.430, comma, P is below 0.05. P is below 0.05 on a P value is 0.01. This was our P value. 0.01, 0.001. This was our P value. So, this is our P value 0.001. 0.001. Hence, null hypothesis is failed to be accepted. We conclude that there is significant association between occupational workload load and job related stress. That means as workload increases, stress increases. I think both the hypotheses are very clear to everyone, and how we test, how we got the inferences is also clear to everyone. Do you get my point, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Now moving further, ये तो हमने जो किया अब तक, ये हमने अपने टॉपिक को लेकर के 2 हाइपोथेसिस सेट की थी और हम आगे गए थे, जो कि मैंने पहले से कर रखा था. बट आप लोग जो हैं वो पेपर नए बनाएंगे. यू विल बी वर्किंग ऑन फ्रेश पेपर्स, और अभी काम कर रहे होंगे, आप अभी कुछ पेपर्स पे काम कर रहे होंगे, तो उसके लिए बहुत जरूरी चीज है कुछ जानना आपके लिए. ठीक है, जब तक आप बड़े प्रिसाइज नहीं होंगे चीजों को लेकर के, व्हेन until you are very very precise about your things, it is very difficult to get a very good research paper out. Otherwise it will be, again I tell you, it will be a very like it is a garbage type of thing. You put in garbage and you take out garbage only. इसका कोई मतलब नहीं रहेगा. That would not be a great research or good research. So जो जरूरी चीजें आपके लिए जानना वो ये है कि वेरिएबल्स क्या होते हैं. Already we have gone through this independent variable and dependent variable. लेकिन इसके अलावा भी कुछ वेरिएबल्स हैं, और केवल वेरिएबल नहीं. Apart from this, measure of scale is also should be known. Measure of scale, that is again very very important thing. Unless you have this, you are known to these 2 things, your type of variables, your IVDV, in your measure of scale, we cannot be able to find out which test need to be applied. वो टेस्ट जो हमको लगाना है, उसको लगाने के लिए फॉर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ दैट टेस्ट वी शुड बी वेरी वेरी अंडरस्टैंडेबल अबाउट द टाइप्स ऑफ वेरिएबल एंड द मेजर ऑफ स्केल. ओके, सो आगे हम यही बात करते हैं. नाउ लेट अस सी द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डिटेल्स दैट नीड टू नो बिफोर अप्लाई अ सुटेबल स्टैटिस्टिकल टेस्ट, दैट इज वेरिएबल एंड मेजर ऑफ स्केल. फर्स्ट वी डिस्कस अबाउट टाइप ऑफ वेरिएबल. फ्रेंड्स, variables are majorly divided into 2 categories that we have already studied, independent variable and dependent variable. But from the point of view of research, we should know about the other important types also. Again, starting with independent variable, IV, that is independent variable, is manipulated by the researcher. Manipulated, that means can be changed by the researcher to see its change on dependent variable. For example, whether workload increases occupational stress. We set different levels of workload, like different timings of work and its effect on stress. So what we manipulate? We manipulate timings of the work. On the basis of manipulation of timings of the work, what we wanted to know about? We wanted to know about the stress level. Okay, so here timings of the work are the cause. Timings of the work are the cause. And the stress is the result. Stress is the result. That is the effect. Did you not get my point? So timings of the work are the cause, and because of that cause, the result is stress. The effect is stress. So this is IV. This is independent variable. Now what is DV? This is the outcome variable or predicted variable. Dependent variable is also known as outcome variable or measured variable or predicted variable. In our example, stress is observed and predicted based on controlled on independent variable. We manipulate independent variable to find out the dependent variable, that is stress. So our causal variable is workload and the effect variable is stress, occupational stress. Now the third category of variable is intervening variable. As name suggests, it is known as mediator variable also. Mediator variable. It mediates in between. Sometimes it may happen that IV, independent variable, does not directly affect DV, that is dependent variable, but there may be some other variable in the middle of IV and DV, and IV first affect mediator variable and then mediator variable affect DV. Did you get my point? IV doesn't directly affect DV, but IV first effect on intervening variable and intervening variable affects on dependent variable. For example, workload doesn't directly affect stress, but the complexity of the work further affects on stress. Increasing timing does not affect on stress, but the complexity of the work, complexity of the job affects more on the stress. So while calculating this stress, we should have to take care of this complexity of the work also. Unless we'll take this thing into consideration, will not be able to give the accurate results. Did you get my point? That is why intervening variable, knowledge of intervening variable is very, very important. It is very, very important. Therefore, complexity of the job is affected by the workload, and further complexity of the job produces stress. This is intervening variable. Now come to the next, moderator variable. Moderator variable is clear with the name. It moderates or modifies the cause and effect relationship between IV and DV. This is our IV, and this is our DV. So moderator variable modifies the cause and effect relationship between IV and DV for, listen my words, for some or few subjects in the study. What is subject? In our study, 308 subjects were there. 308 samples were there. So this moderator variable affect the cause and effect relationship to few or to a very little number of subjects, not everyone, a very little. Okay, but it is also necessary to know about this moderator variable. For example, if it is observed for some subjects, again notice my subject. What does subject mean? Subject means the sample. Subject means the sample. If it is observed for that few subjects are in the study, that even due to increase of workload, the stress level does not increase for them with the same proportion. For the other subjects it is increasing, but for those small few numbers it is not increasing, because this sum or few subjects are self-influenced, self-motivated, with honesty, integrity, loyalty, this type of attributes. These are known as attributes, lakshan, characteristics. If somebody is self-influenced, self-motivated, with honesty, integrity, loyalty, what happens? They are so attached with their job, with their position, that increasing workload gives them extra push to work more for the performance. So these characteristics, which are already associated with the subject's habit or personality, modifies the cause and effect relationship. Notice that this is an individual subject's habit or characteristics. I told you already, it does not happen to everyone. It happens to few subjects. If you know in your questionnaire, field questionnaire, the responses that these are the subjects, when we go for checking our responses, when we know about this type of subjects, that this type of subjects are there, which are continuously saying that they have no effect at all, no effect at all, no effect at all for everything, for every question. And if their number is high, their number is more, I request you, please increase the size of your sample. If you circulated your questionnaire for 60 people, and this type of thing, what I have told you just right now, let's say out of 60, 40 or 30, let's say 50% or 20, say 20 people are there, which seems that this moderator variable is present there. I request you, please increase your sample size, double it, 60 to 120. Go to another type of firm or another type of IT industry. If I will be doing this, if I am choosing 5 or 6 IT industry, and I am finding that this 5 or 6 industries data, 2 industries are there where the responses are not going with the population parameters, they are not matching with the population parameter, what should I do? I should moderate these variables by increasing my sample size and by picking up few new IT industries. Did you get my point? Did you get my point?
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
you have to be very careful while circulating your questionnaire. मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूं कि आपके पास ऐसे लोग बहुत गलत प्रैक्टिसेस भी करते हैं. देखें आप, क्वेश्चनर आया, उसके अंदर कुछ ऊपर नीचे किया और खुद से बना दिया कुछ. आई रिक्वेस्ट यू, आप खुद का नुकसान करेंगे, इसे मत कीजिए प्लीज. मेरे पास बहुत से लोग आते हैं, मेरे पास रिसर्च कंसल्टेंसी के लिए लोग आते हैं, बोलते हैं कि सर ये डेटा हमारे पास बना हुआ है, प्लीज इसके ऊपर कौन सा टेस्ट लगाएंगे बताएं. जब मैं उस पर प्राइमरी टेस्ट अप्लाई करता हूँ, नॉर्मलिटी टाइप ऑफ थिंग, और जब उसको थोड़ा सा अंदर जाके देखता हूँ, तो पता लगता है सब अंदर कुछ पोल पट्टी दूसरी चल रही है, कुछ और ही चल रहा है अंदर. और मैं उनको स्ट्रिक्टली बोलता हूँ कि प्लीज ऐसा काम मत कीजिए आप. इफ यू आर पेइंग योर 4 years or 3 years or 5 years फॉर योर PhD, प्लीज डू इट वेरी ऑनेस्टली. डू इट वेरी ऑनेस्टली. ये मत कीजिए आप. बीइंग अ रिसर्चर, वी शुड बी वेरी इथिकल. हम सबको बहुत इथिकल होने की जरूरत है. और ये चीज आप अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी बताइए, उनको भी सिखाइए. अगर आप इथिकल रहेंगे, आपके स्टूडेंट्स को सिखाएंगे, तो आप मान के चलिए आने वाले 5 या 7 साल में चीजें बहुत बदल जाएंगी. Did you get my point? Now, the next thing is The next thing is controllable variable. These are the variables which you need to neutralize or control for your study. Neutralize or control. For example, is hard work, is a workload always creates or produces stress? The answer will be no. Answer will be no. There may be some other factors. Not only workload is there to produce stress, but our study is what? Workload and stress. So other variables we need to control. Other variables we need to control. For example, some of the other factors which also affect job stress. See, giving breaks, vacations, incentives on the job. If these are available there in the job, it may be possible that the level of stress may be low, even if the increase of workload. So we need to abstain ourselves from asking such type of question. Just we need to focus on workload and stress. We need to focus on workload and stress. We should not include any such type of question which deviates our respondents from giving response on our IV and DV. We should avoid, we should abstain ourselves from asking such type of questions to the respondents. We should not confuse our respondents. Very precisely we have to ask, this is our IV, this is our DV, this 5 set of question, 10 set of question, 15 or 20 set of questions or 50 set of question we'll ask, but we'll never confuse our respondent. Otherwise, what will happen? You will never know which factor is affecting your DV. Okay, which factor is affecting your DV. If there are attributes, then it may possible that the level of stress may be low, even if increase of workload. Therefore, it is necessary for a researcher that if you are taking workload as a causal variable, then the other similar variable which can influence, affect on your DV, that is stress level, should be controlled or neutralized. Otherwise, you cannot get desired results, or the results will be confusing that which factor actually affects your DV, that is stress. For this, you must keep precaution while designing your questionnaire. You should control, neutralize variables which seems to affect your DV other than your IV. I should keep myself abstain from asking questions to confuse my respondents. So I avoid questions like incentives, breaks, vacations, etc. I never ask this question in this questionnaire. Now the last one, extraneous variable. No control of researcher on these variables. And these variables may affect your DV, your dependent variable. Like family problem of respondent, behavioral problem of respondent, psychological factors, etc. These may be present with a respondent, but you cannot control, you are helpless, you cannot control. So researcher have no control on such factors, and these factors may affect the test result. But it is, we cannot control these extraneous factors, so we should not think about it. Okay. Now next, I think this variable type of thing is understood to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Now
Yes,
the next important thing. First is variable, and another type is type of measures. Okay. Type of measure is also necessary to know about what suitable test we should apply. And what is this measure of skill? See, it is just like you wanted to measure a piece of cloth. What you need to measure that? A liter scale or a meter scale? What we need is to measure a cloth. What we need is a meter scale, not a liter scale. So our scale should be very accurate Otherwise, our results will be misleading. So selection of stress is very necessary. Actually, there are 4 types of scale. Nominal scale, which is known as a categorical, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. I'll be discussing only these 3. This 4th is majorly discussed for scientific research and mathematical research. For social science research and other type of research, these 3 scales are there: nominal, ordinal, interval. So nominal scale, what is it? It is a non-numeric variable scale. Non-numeric variable scale. In our questionnaire, male, female, occupation type, level of hierarchy, top level, middle level, executive level, these are the nominal scale. These are the nominal scale or categorical scale. Categorical variables are there. Did you get my point? Gender, male, female, educational qualification, schooling, bachelor degree, PG degree, professional education, this type of thing. Let's say if we ask one question to a respondent, why people watch OTT content? This lockdown period, most of the people watch this OTT content. What is the reason behind that? We ask. So we have 3 type of we have a nominal scale of 3 groups. The first group is, it is a new, we are offered every time new content. Then second was easily available. Then third is anytime we can watch. So out of these 3, a respondent can tick on any or all. Okay, so if we have this scale is known as a nominal scale. The second scale is what? Ordinal scale. Ordinal scale, as name says, order or ordinal. Order in the ranking we can say, or rating we can say. For example, first, second, third, or rating superior, inferior, moderate, highest, lowest, lighter, heavier. Okay, in our questionnaire also we have this. You can see it here. Yes, no, sometimes. This we have never, occasionally, sometimes, fairly, often, very often. Okay, so these are what? These are ordinal scale. One thing I wanted to tell you here, that about third thing, there's interval scale. Interval scale is what? It is equal sized unit of measurement. What is equal sized unit of measurement? It shows distance or interval between subjects' performance. Similar difference, equidistance we can say, equidistance, barabar ka distance, like temperature scale, IQ scale, exam score scale. So this is equidistance. And one more thing, important thing I wanted to tell you here, Likert scale you have heard about. Likert scale, 5-point Likert, 3-point Likert, 7-point Likert, 11-point Likert. This Likert scale, there is a confusion in many people. Many people say Likert scale is an interval scale. Many people say it is an ordinal scale. Don't get confused. Likert scale in social science research, actually Likert scale is an interval scale. But for social science research, Likert scale is many times treated as an ordinal scale. So nominal scale only category, ordinal scale, and interval scale. What is the ratio scale then? So this ratio scale, same as interval scale, but 0 has meaning. Here 0 has meaning in ratio scale. For example, if you say weight 0, somebody's weight is 0, what does it mean? That means is no weight, or that person doesn't exist. But if the temperature is 0 degree, what does that mean? It means water is there, but at a freezing point. Water is not absent there. What is there? So this ratio scale is important, and there 0 has an importance. 0 has a meaning. But we need not to worry about, because this ratio scale is used for this scientific research more, or mathematical research. Okay. So for social science and other type of research, we generally use this 3 type of scale: nominal scale, ordinal scale, or interval scale. Now moving further, now we'll come to suitable test. Which test we should adopt? Note that choosing statistical test is based on number of IV and DV. What is the number of IV and what is the number of DV? Second, the type of measure. This IV DV we have discussed, this type of measure we discussed. And third number is what is your objective? Whether your objective is to compare sample or whether your objective is to find relationship in the sample. If you wanted to compare the sample, parametric test should be applied. Note that. Wanted to compare sample, parametric test. Majorly, not precisely, majorly. For relationship, non-parametric. Did you get my point? But note my word, this is not specific or precise. This is majorly we do this type of test. Now, the last, choosing a right test, because I have told you each and everything. Now, which test to apply and which test will be applied in your study. I have one short view here. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes.
Hello?
Sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Is this
Now
one shot view is visible to everyone? Now.
Yes, sir.
This one shot view is what? Measure type. What is the type of the measure? Number of variables, number of dependent variables, nature of independent variable, nature of dependent variable, preferable test, and what does that test do? So if you have a continuous measure mean if you have interval scale that's age 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20, 30 like that. This is continuous scale. Okay. Ordinal, order, something is order first, second, third, like ordinal scale. Categorical means category is there. Male, female. Okay. Education, like your occupation, this type of thing. So continuous, ordinal, categorical. Did you get my point? Continuous, ordinal, and categorical. Continuous means continuous scale. Okay. Like age, income, 0 to 1 lakh, 1 lakh above to 4 lakh, 4 lakh above to 10 lakh, 10 lakh above to 15 lakh, like that. This is a continuous. Ordinal, order, first, second, third. Okay. Preference, ordinal means preference. अभी मैंने बताया था आपको प्रेफरेंस ऑर्डर के अंदर क्या आता है, ऑर्डिनल स्केल में क्या था, प्रेफरेंस, सुपीरियर, इंफीरियर, मॉडरेट, ओके, हाईएस्ट, लोएस्ट. अभी हमने जो अपने क्वेश्चनर में लिया था वो भी ऑर्डिनल स्केल ही था. ओके. देन कैटेगरिकल में हम क्या इंक्लूड करते हैं, मेल फीमेल टाइप ऑफ थिंग या ऑक्यूपेशन, लाइक दिस. So number of variable, if you have two number of variable including your IB and DV, if there are two variables only, IB and DV, number of DV will be 1. So another one which is remaining is IV. Nature of IV is 1 with interval. Interval scale is there. Nature of DV is interval normally distributed. Your data should be normally distributed. So test will be what? Carl Pearson. What this do? Test finds the strength of the association or relationship of the fact of two variables. ये करता है. ठीक है. अगर आपका डेटा ऑर्डिनल हुआ विथ टू वेरिएबल्स जिसमें एक डीवी है एक आईवी है, वहां पर इंटरवल नहीं है, इंटरवल स्केल नहीं है वहां पर, और डेटा भी नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड नहीं है, आपने नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया ही नहीं है, ठीक है, या करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी आपको, तब क्या करेंगे आप? तब कार्ल पियर्सन लगाना नहीं है आपको. अगर आपको स्ट्रेंथ निकालना तो कार्ल पियर्सन की जगह क्या कर सकते हैं आप? स्पेयरमैन कोरिलेशन लगा दें रैंक के बेसिस पर. दैट मीन कोरिलेशन कैन बी डन इन टू वेज. इफ योर डेटा इज नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन इंटरवल, क्या कराएंगे हम? क्या लगाएंगे हम? कार्ल पियर्सन. डेटा नॉन इंटरवल है और नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड नहीं, तब क्या लगाएंगे हम? स्पेयरमैन कोरिलेशन लगा सकते हैं. और दोनों का मतलब, दोनों का काम एक ही है. क्या करता है वो? दोनों लोग क्या काम करते हैं? दोनों टेस्ट स्ट्रेंथ रिलेशनशिप बताते हैं एसोसिएशंस की. ठीक है. देन अगर आपका कैटेगरिकल डेटा है, वन विथ टू और मोर लेवल्स, जैसा अभी अपने क्वेश्चन में था, अभी हमने जो किया इसके अंदर डेटा में लेवल अलग अलग थे. आप देखें यहाँ पर कितने लेवल है, यहाँ पर इसमें कितने लेवल है? यस, नो, समटाइम्स. ये कैटेगरिकल भी बोला जा सकता है इसको. देखें आप यहाँ पर कितने स्केल इसके अंदर है? 3 है ना, 3 ग्रुप है. यहाँ पर भी कितने ग्रुप है? इसमें 3 ग्रुप है. तो हमने क्या लगाया यहाँ पर? काई-स्क्वायर टेस्ट लगाया. काई-स्क्वायर टेस्ट क्या करता है? वही चीज करता है, स्ट्रेंथ बताता है एसोसिएशन की. रिलेशनशिप शो करता है। काम वही है, लेकिन तीनों देखो, तीनों अलग अलग है, कंटिन्यूअस, ऑर्डिनल और कैटेगरिकल। एक में कंटिन्यूअस है, एक में ऑर्डिनल है, एक में कैटेगरिकल है, एक में डाटा इंटरवल है, एक में नॉन इंटरवल डाटा है, एक में कैटेगरिकल डाटा है। एक ही चीज के लिए 3 टेस्ट है। तो ये किस पर डिपेंड करता है? ये डिपेंड करता है कि आपका डेटा कैसा है, व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ योर डेटा, व्हाट इज द मेजर, आपका मेजर कैसा है। तो आई थिंक ये क्लियर है आप सबको कि आपका डेटा कैसा होना चाहिए। तो क्वेश्चन, आप जब भी क्वेश्चनर बनाए तो उसके पहले यू मस्ट हैव टू नो अबाउट व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ योर मेजर एंड व्हाट इज द नंबर ऑफ डीवी एंड आईवी देयर। नेक्स्ट नंबर, इसके बाद, इफ योर डेटा इज कैटेगरिकल and you have more than 2 levels, independent groups, but data is ordinal, that's called Willis। ये टेस्ट लगाएंगे हम। ये कब लग सकता है? अनोवा की जगह लग सकता है। ये कब लग सकता है अनोवा की जगह? when your data is ordinal and non-normal। when your data is ordinal and non-normal, ordinal data, non-normal data with one DV, two or more variables, are there, number of variables are 2 or more, then in this case, in place of application of ANOVA, because ANOVA needs what? ANOVA needs normality of data. And if you don't have normality of data, you need not to worry. Just go to Kruskal-Wallis test. Your work will be done. Is it done? मेरे ख्याल से यहां तक बात समझ में आ गई आपको कि अगर डेटा आपका 2 या 2 से ज्यादा डेटा है, 2 या 2 से ज्यादा वेरिएबल्स आपके पास है और आप नॉर्मलिटी नहीं निकाल सकते डेटा की, नॉर्मलिटी आपको फाइंड आउट करना डिफिकल्ट है आपके लिए, तो क्या बैठ जाए हम लोग? नहीं, आप अनोवा छोड़ करके आप क्रस्कॉल-वालिस टेस्ट लगा सकते हैं। दिस टेस्ट, क्रस्कॉल-वालिस टेस्ट, ये आप इजीली एसपीएसएस में देख सकते हैं, इजीली एसपीएसएस में अवेलेबल है। ठीक है। कैटेगरिकल डेटा, 2 वेरिएबल जिसमें 2 या 2 से ज्यादा लेवल हो और वो रिलेटेड ग्रुप्स के हो। रिलेटेड ग्रुप्स मतलब they are from same population, group। तब क्या लगाएंगे आप? विल्कॉक्सन साइन रिंग टेस्ट लगा सकते हैं। ये टेस्ट क्या करता है? नॉन पैरामीट्रिक टेस्ट है। ये पेयर्ड सैंपल टी टेस्ट की जगह लगा सकते हैं इसको, पेयर्ड सैंपल टी टेस्ट की जगह लगा सकते हैं। अगर आपका रिलेटेड डेटा है, 2 रिलेटेड सैंपल्स हैं, प्री स्टडी पोस्ट स्टडी सुनी होगी आपने। ट्रेनिंग के पहले एक डेटा हमने लिया, ट्रेनिंग दी, ट्रेनिंग के बाद डेटा लिया। अगर वहां पर नॉर्मलिटी आपने नहीं निकाला है तब क्या करें हम? टी तो लगा नहीं सकते, तब क्या लगा दें हम? विल्कॉक्सन साइन रिंग टेस्ट लगा दें। फिर से मेरी बात सुने आप। ट्रेनिंग के पहले हमने डेटा लिया कि ट्रेनिंग के पहले स्थिति कैसी है, व्हाट इज द कंडीशन बिफोर ट्रेनिंग। ट्रेनिंग दिया, ट्रेनिंग के बाद डेटा हमने लिया, सैंपल लिया। अब हम कंपेयर करना चाहते हैं कि ट्रेनिंग का इंपैक्ट पड़ा या नहीं पड़ा। ठीक है, हमें जानना है, लेकिन हम डेटा को नॉर्मल बता नहीं पा रहे हैं कि डेटा नॉर्मल है कि नहीं नॉर्मल है। तब क्या करें हम? ऐसी कंडीशन में पेयर टी टेस्ट लगाने के बजाय आप क्या लगा सकते हैं? विल्कॉक्सन साइन रिंग टेस्ट लगा सकते हैं। वही जो टेस्ट पेयर्ड टी टेस्ट करता है आपका, वही काम यहां पर हो जाएगा आपका। ठीक है। देन कैटेगरिकल डेटा, 2 वेरिएबल है जिसमें एक आईवी है, 2 लेवल है, रिलेटेड है। अभी जो मैंने बताया आपका डेटा नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, वही ट्रेनिंग का डेटा आपका नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, तो क्या लगा दे? विल्कॉक्सन साइन रिंग टेस्ट मत लगाओ, आप पेयर टेस्ट लगा दो, पेयर टी टेस्ट लगा दो। क्लियर? 2 डिफरेंट पॉपुलेशन से डेटा लिया, 2 अलग अलग पॉपुलेशन लेवल है। ठीक है। लेट्स से वन डेटा वी हैव टेकन फ्रॉम आईटी इंडस्ट्री, अनदर डेटा वी हैव टेकन फ्रॉम टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री, और स्ट्रेस मेजर करना है। 2 अलग अलग जगह के डेटा है, 2 अलग अलग पॉपुलेशन है। क्या करना पड़ेगा? अगर नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड आपका डेटा, तब क्या लगा दो आप? इंडिपेंडेंट टी टेस्ट लगा दो। इंडिपेंडेंट टी टेस्ट आप लगा सकते हो। ठीक है, कर सकते हैं इसके अंदर हमेशा। देन इसके बाद हम आगे चलते हैं, जहां 2 या 2 से ज्यादा सैंपल है, डिपेंडेंट बेस्ड ग्रुप है। अभी हमने अनोवा लगाया, सेम पॉपुलेशन से था, 2 या 2 से ज्यादा लेवल थे, इंटरवल स्केल थी, नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड था, हमने अनोवा लगाया। क्या करता है ये? टेस्ट में डिफरेंस बताता है दोनों ग्रुप्स के अंदर, दोनों मेन ग्रुप्स के बीच में डिफरेंस। कंटिन्यूस डेटा है, इंटरवल के साथ है, इंटरवल डेटा है, नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है। अगर आपको कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप बतानी है, लीनियर रिग्रेशन लगा दें, कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप। if a teacher concentrates more on teaching habits improvement, the result of class will surely increase. So is there relationship between teaching habit, teaching pedagogy एंड द रिजल्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स, अगर ये बताना है हमको रिलेशनशिप प्रेजेंट करनी है तब हम क्या लगा दें। और अगर आपका डेटा इंटरवल और नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड, आप क्या लगा सकते हो, रिग्रेशन लगा सकते हो। एक ही आपके पास आईवी है, एक डीवी है, ज्यादा आईवीज है इंटरवल के साथ में, मोर देन 2 आपके डीवीज हैं, एक आईवी और मोर देन 2 डीवी है, यही चीज करना है आपको। टाइम कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप लगानी है, मल्टीपल लीनियर कोरिलेशन लगा दो। 2 से ज्यादा डीवी है, एक आईवी है, 2 से ज्यादा लेवल है, और हमें क्या करना है, डिफरेंस निकालना है ग्रुप्स के बीच में। वन वे मनोवा लगा सकते हैं और मनोवा लगा सकते हैं, लेकिन यहां पर डेटा का नॉर्मल होना जरूरी है, नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड होना जरूरी है। तो अगर मेजरली हम बात करें तो आवर टेस्ट आर डिवाइडेड इनटू 2 मेजर पार्ट्स, पैरामीट्रिक टेस्ट, नॉन पैरामीट्रिक टेस्ट। इफ नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज देयर, आप टी, अनोवा, रिग्रेशन लगा दो, कॉरेलेशन लगा दो। नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड नहीं है, काई स्क्वायर टेस्ट, ट्रास्काल वालिस टेस्ट, विल्कॉक्सन साइन रेन टेस्ट, ये लगा सकते हो। एक डीवी है, एक डीवी नंबर ऑफ वेरिएबल जो है, एक डीवी है आपके पास में, ठीक है, और एक आईवी है, कोई ग्रुप नहीं है, पियर्सन कोरिलेशन लगा सकते हो। देन सिंगल टी टेस्ट, इंडिविजुअल टी टेस्ट लगा सकते हो। ज्यादा ग्रुप्स हैं, 2 या 2 से ज्यादा ग्रुप्स हैं, काई स्क्वायर लगा सकते हो। देन पेयर टी लगा सकते हो। 2 या 2 से ज्यादा आपके पास डीवीज हैं, तब क्या कर सकते हैं हम, अनोवा लगा सकते हैं। उससे भी ज्यादा हैं आपके पास डीवीज, 3 से ज्यादा या 2 से ज्यादा हैं, मनोवा लगा सकते हैं। टाइम कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप फाइंड आउट करनी है, रिग्रेशन लगा सकते हैं। 2 से ज्यादा वेरिएबल्स हैं, आईवीज हैं, मल्टीपल रिग्रेशन लगा सकते हैं। सो ये मेरी तरफ से यहां पर ये सारी चीजें होती है। फिनिश, अगर आपका कोई क्वेश्चन हो यू कैन आंसर।
Hello, sir.
यस
Sir, I have a question.
यस
Sir, while testing the normality of data, so can we select the qualitative variables there?
नॉर्मलिटी ऑफ द डेटा एंड क्वालिटेटिव, नो
Sir,
सी
while you are doing that demonstration in Excel, no, sir, did you select that qualitative data, sir? 1 to 9 questions.
ना, मैंने वो छोड़ दिया है। इफ यू कैन सी इट हियर, दोस क्वालिटेटिव एस्पेक्ट डाटा आई हैव लेफ्ट आउट this qualitative data, 1 to 9 data, I have left out this because this type of data depends on the quality of the respondents. That is why they are known as qualitative data. What we need to have for normality, only quantitative data we must, otherwise ये जो बेल आपका बना है, this bale will not be proper shaped, then will be difficult for you. Okay, so I request you, if you are going for normality test, you should concentrate only on those type of questions which are quantitative based, not qualitative based. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
another question.
हेलो सर।
Yes
सर आई वांटेड टू आस्क, जैसे आपने अभी सेम उसमें बताया था 1 से लेके 9 तक, सो इफ वी हैव 3 डिफरेंट हाइपोथेसिस, देन डू वी नीड टू टेस्ट नॉर्मेलिटी टेस्ट जो होगा वो वी विल टेस्ट डिफरेंट फॉर डिफरेंट क्वेश्चंस, और वी विल टेस्ट ऑल टुगेदर लाइक फॉर द होल क्वेश्चनियर?
see Mukesh ji, if you are going for test of normality, it is better just keep out qualitative type of questions, just keep out qualitative type of question, and all the question we have to select all the questions. We in one shot only our normality should be observed. Normality should be observed that these answers given by the respondents are they have same attributes as to population. उनमें वो सभी गुण है या नहीं है इन क्वेश्चंस के जो पॉपुलेशन के गुण होने चाहिए, इसीलिए हम नॉर्मलिटी निकालते हैं। नॉर्मलिटी का अर्थ केवल एक ही है कि हम पूरी पॉपुलेशन की स्टडी नहीं कर सकते, तो हमने क्या किया, सैंपल चूज किया। तो सैंपल में वो सारे गुण होने चाहिए, वो सारे एट्रीब्यूट्स होने चाहिए जो कि पॉपुलेशन में है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई हम जेड टेस्ट, जेड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जो होता है नॉर्मलिटी के अंदर वो निकालते हैं।
Yes, sir.
मेरे ख्याल से आपको
Thank you,
बात समझ में आती है। आप बिल्कुल निश्चिंत होकर के नॉर्मलिटी लगाओ, क्वालिटेटिव क्वेश्चन बाहर रखो, बाकी क्वेश्चन पे एक साथ लगा सकते हो।
Okay, sir.
और
Thank you, sir.
यहाँ फिर से बता दूं, मैं आपको सभी को बता देता हूं, अगर आपकी नॉर्मलिटी नहीं निकल रही है तो चिंता वाली बात नहीं है कि आपकी आपकी रिसर्च आप बंद कर दो। नो, नॉर्मलिटी टेस्ट अगर आपका नहीं आया है तो उसके दो कारण हो सकते हैं। या तो आपका सैंपल साइज छोटा होगा, सैंपल को बढ़ा लो आप। अगर उसके बाद भी नॉर्मलिटी नहीं आ रहा है तो घबराने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। आप क्या करो, नॉन पैरामीट्रिक टेस्ट, मैंने आपको सब बता दी। नॉन पैरामीट्रिक टेस्ट आप क्या क्या कर सकते हो, आप स्परमैन रैंक कोरिलेशन लगा दो, आप विल्कॉक्सन टेस्ट, साइन रैंक टेस्ट लगा दो, आप क्रस्कॉल वालिस लगा सकते हो, आप काई स्क्वायर टेस्ट लगा सकते हो। आपका काम हो जाएगा, बहुत अच्छे से होगा।
Sir, but does it impact the quality of a paper?
नो नो
if
नो,
we-
नॉट एट ऑल। ना ना, देखिए
Okay.
मुकेश जी, ये सारे जो टेस्ट हैं ये बड़े विद्वान लोगों ने बनाए हुए हैं, ठीक है। तो ये ऐसा नहीं होता कि एक जगह काम कर रहा दूसरे जगह काम नहीं कर रहा। यू शुड नॉट बी वरी अबाउट। अगर आपने जेन्युइनली वर्क किया है और आप ये टेस्ट लगाते हैं तो आपको कोई नहीं रोकने वाला। आप बिल्कुल उसको अपने थीसिस में प्रेजेंट करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
Okay, sir. So it won't affect whether we apply parametric test or non-parametric test till the time our data is genuine and large enough.
See, genuine, if you are doubly sure that I have gathered data with my all labor, and
Yes.
the target respondent has given me each and everything, and I have reached I have sent my questionnaire to only educated people, only educated people who know the sense of my questionnaire, what I am asking, why I am asking this thing.
Sure.
See, ये सब चीज आपको जानना जरूरी है। You are very sure about that my questionnaire has reached to the target respondent and the respondent has given me the correct answer.
Okay.
And अगर उसके बाद आपका नॉर्मलिटी नहीं आ रहा है, if there is no normality, not to worry about, go for non-parametric test and apply those tests. You need not to
Okay,
worry.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Ravi sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Ashish sir.
Ravi sir, जैसे hypothesis. Yes sir. Sir, you have talked about two hypotheses. One hypothesis will be applying Excel. Will be using Excel, and second one SPSS. If we are having three, then in that case, what will be course? How we have to calculate?
Sir, no, sir, देखें थोड़ा सा आशीष sir, I must tell you, these are the platforms. MS Excel is a platform. SPSS is a platform, a software where we can use statistical test and we can do our work. इसमें कोई ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि एक आप सारे के सारे यहाँ पर एक्सेल पे भी कर सकते हो, लेकिन एक्सेल हैज सम लिमिटेशंस. You have for application of chi-square test in Excel, you have to get paid up add-ins. You have to get paid up add-ins in Excel. If you do that, you can surely do chi-square test and other type of this Krustal-Wallis and Wilcoxon test you can do there in your this MS Excel only. But we have a limitation.
Okay.
This free version of MS Excel has some limitations. हम उसमें क्या कर सकते हैं, हम सारे टेस्ट अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते। दैट इज द रीजन मैंने एक टेस्ट MS Excel पे किया, दूसरा टेस्ट मैंने SPSS पे किया। तो मेरे ख्याल से आपको क्लियर हो गया।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if the data is qualitative, then how to analyze, sir, that data?
If your data is qualitative, okay, so percentage के थ्रू आप उसको कर सकते हो, नंबर एक, या आप क्वालिटेटिव को कोई डिफाइन कर दो। इफ यू डिफाइन योर क्वालिटेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ द डेटा, लेट्स से can you give me some questions of qualitative data like?
Sir, to study the nature of ethnic groups.
To study the nature of ethnic groups, okay. See, if you are doing the study of ethnic group, you have to concentrate on which type of question should come there. Qualitative question should be converted. If you want to apply test, qualitative question should be converted into qualitative form by giving the name. The name, like I can tell you one thing in my this only questionnaire only. This you can see it here.
Yes, sir.
This is a question. main objective of the organization, respondent work in business profit, customer satisfaction, employee care, and empowerment. So these are qualitative aspects. So I should, if I wanted to study, I wanted to include these questions in my study. So I should have to give this name of business profit, any of a numeric name like 1, 2, or 3, like that. Customer satisfaction, employee. So in this way I can do this thing. This way I can do. Okay.
Okay, sir. But is there any hypothesis testing in qualitative studies?
Precisely, it is there. You have to go for some literature first of all. I suggest you should go for some literature.
Okay, sir.
If there is already some study are done, which test they apply, which type of test they have used, study those tests, in which platform, in which software those tests were applied. This type of thing you have to take care in first of all. So
Okay,
a
sir.
lot
Thank you,
of
sir.
this literature you have to do. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Okay. So अजय सर, मुझे लगता है कि मैंने सभी की क्वेश्चंस हो चुके हैं.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू. मुझे मैंने
और यदि पार्टिसिपेंट्स किसी के भी और यदि क्वेश्चन है और आपको ऐसा लगता है कि आपको पूछना है, तो आप इसका जो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बना हुआ है उस पर आप क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं और वहाँ पर सर कनेक्ट होंगे, वहाँ से उसका रिप्लाई आपको मिल जाएगा. तो थैंक यू ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट्स. थैंक यू सो मच सर. नमस्कार. थैंक यू सो मच. हमारे बीच में अशोक कुमार गुप्ता सर हैं, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट रिसर्च फाउंडेशन ऑफ इंडिया. अशोक सर.
यस सर. जी सर.
नमस्कार सर.
यस सर.
यस सर. सर आज के सेशन के बारे में आपकी ओपिनियन सर, और सर साथ में है तो सर के बारे में थोड़ा.
बिल्कुल. पहले हेलो. हाँ, please mute your audio video. Hello everyone. This is Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar Gupta. Currently, I am in Boston, USA. I am honored to be invited in this online international workshop on application of statistical tools in research paper. This is organized by Research Foundation of India. Today's expert is Dr. Ravi Vyas. Dr. Ravi is known as master trainer and research expert. The purpose of research is to inform action, to prove a theory, and contribute to developing knowledge in a field of study, as Dr. Ravi narrated. He also explains research is basically done for two purposes: to understand the world around us, or why things or processes work in the way they do, and to understand the applications of these processes. In other words, either pure research is carried out or applied research is carried out, he explains. Anything that becomes a means of collecting information for our study is called a research tool. He explained the various research tools. We can use the tools in our research like case studies, checklists, interviews, observations, sometimes, and surveys or questionnaires are all tools used to collect data. It is important to decide the tools for data collection because research is carried out in different ways and for different purposes. Statistical methods involved in carrying out a study include planning, designing, collecting data, analyzing, drawing meaningful interpretation, and reporting of the research findings. Sorry. Congratulations for an excellent online international workshop with an amazing program and great speaker. You did a great job. I wish to congratulate you for this workshop. It was a superb event both in terms of intellectual quality and social gratification. I'd like to thank the team RFI for organizing such a wonderful event. A special thanks to the resource person for being part of RFI, and thanks to all RFI members along with the participants. Thank you again for inviting me to the workshop. It was a wonderful experience for me. The level and diversity of discussion was outstanding. You have just the right mix of subject, people, and time as per requirement. My sincere thanks goes to resource person Dr. Ravi Vyas, Dr. Saurabh Jain, Chairman RFI, Dr. Rajesh Sharma, National Convener RFI, Professor Ajay Jain, RFI President, Central Board, Dr. Priyadarshini Agniatri, RFI President, South North Board, Dr. Manish Dubey, MP President, RFI. One more thing I would like to say here that this workshop would never clarify your all doubts. Rather, I would say that it will create doubts in your mind that how to use the statistical tools. So don't worry, you have to use one or two tools only. But Dr. Ravi Vyas explained you each and every tool because it is a general speaking, and if you require some specific guidelines, so you can contact Dr. Ravi Vyas as well as to RFI. We are open anytime, everywhere. So you can just drop a mail at info@researchfoundationofindia.com. You will get your queries satisfied to the great extent. Thank you all again, and thank you for being the part of RFI. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for your blessing, for your kind words, the appreciation you have given to me. Thank you, Ashok Gupta ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashok sir. Thank you so much, sir. Ravi sir, एक्चुअल में जितने भी वेबिनार होते हैं सर, सारे वेबिनार का एनालिसिस कंप्लीटली करते हैं, और अभी फिलहाल वहाँ पर सर रात है, पूरा जाग के पूरा कार्यक्रम अटेंड करने के बाद सर के एनालिसिस का वेट सभी को होता है, और वो इक्वल टू वेबिनार उसका इतना पोटेंशियल होता है, और सभी पार्टिसिपेंट यहाँ पे जितने भी है, बहुत सारे ऐसे पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं जो नॉर्मली सारे वेबिनार में होते हैं, तो वो सब ये बहुत अच्छे से जानते हैं कि सर की जो ओपिनियन होती है, सारी डिस्कशन होती है, सारी समराइजेशन होता है, वो कितना इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. तो अगेन थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार गुप्ता सर, ऐसे ही गाइडेंस आपका मिलता रहे. थैंक यू सो मच. अगेन थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर रवि व्यास सर. आपका जो सेशन रहा, नो डाउट जितने भी यहाँ पे रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स हैं, जो प्रोफेसर हैं, हमारी RFI की टीम के लोग हैं, उनके लिए जरूर काम आने वाला है. इसी तरीके से RFI काम करता रहेगा. और अब 6 तारीख को 6 से 13 तारीख को एक FDP होने वाली है, जिसका टाइटल है UGC नेक एक्रेडिटेशन प्रोसेस अकॉर्डिंग टू न्यू गाइडलाइंस. इसकी विशेषता ये मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहूंगा कि इस तरह की FDP इंडिया में पहली बार हो रही है. इस FDP में 7 क्राइटेरिया के लिए 7 एक्सपर्ट 7 अलग अलग स्टेट के आ रहे हैं. UGC भी इसमें शामिल है, नेक भी इसमें शामिल है, और सबसे बड़ी खुशी की बात 8 दिन की FDP है, और 8 दिन 8 अलग अलग यूनिवर्सिटी के VC एक्सपर्ट के अलावा आप लोगों से डिस्कशन करेंगे. तो अपने आप में एक नया प्रयोग है आप सब लोगों के लिए, बेनिफिट के लिए. आपको यदि उचित लगता है तो बिल्कुल इसको ज्वाइन करिए, बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. अगेन थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर रविवास सर, डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार गुप्ता सर, डॉक्टर सौरभ जैन सर, डॉक्टर मनीष दुबे सर, डॉक्टर संजय प्रसाद सर, सरिता राणा मैम, प्रकाशिनी मैम, all our team member, Dr. Seema Agrawal madam, Yashvi Dubey, another team member of RFI. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
अजय सर, मैं सबको तो एक साथ धन्यवाद नहीं कर सकता. मैं पूरी RFI टीम को धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि अपॉर्चुनिटी दी है मुझे फिर से एक बार लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करने की.
सर इसलिए मैंने सबके नाम ले दिए, आपके वेब पे मैंने सबके नाम ले दिए सर, इसीलिए.
धन्यवाद जी सर. सो इट इज नाइस एक्सपीरियंस विद पार्टिसिपेंट्स आल्सो. बहुत अच्छा लगा सबसे मिलकर के. और अपना रिसर्च स्किल को बढ़ाना है सबको, ये ध्यान रखें. आप जेन्युइनली वर्क करें, अच्छे से काम करें, फ्रूट जरूर मिलेगा. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर रवि व्यास जी. थैंक यू.
सौरभ सर आप अभी नहीं थे, आप आ गए सर, प्लीज सौरभ सर.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Jain. It's a nice pleasure to be announced over there. That was the 67th international webinar organized by Research Foundation of India, and I would like to thank Dr. Ashok Kumar Gupta ji, Vice President Research Foundation of India, our honorable speaker Dr. Ravi Vyas ji, Professor Ajay Jain, Central Board of India President, Dr. Sarita Rana Madam, MP Secretary, Research Foundation of India, Dr. Manish Dubey, President, Madhya Pradesh Research Foundation of India, and all eminent participants, dignitaries, and all speakers, and core committee member and Women's Health Research Foundation of India. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So
Thank
can
you,
I
sir. Thank you
request
so much.
Ravi sir's mail ID in case if we need some guidance from him later?
Yes, we can share in WhatsApp group.
Thank you so much, sir. Ravi sir, thank you so much for the guidance. It was really enlightening.
Sir, your mic is mute.
Thank you for patient listening. मतलब like the audience were so beautiful that they have observed, like मुझे पूरा उन्होंने सुना और मुझे उसके बाद मुझे टाइम दिया क्वेश्चंस के लिए, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Dr. Sobna Jain.